The arena did not just tremble, it groaned, a deep, resonant sound from the very bedrock of the world. Jade-green mountains, so vast they scraped the heavens, encircled the colossal stone stage. Each peak was a silent, ancient witness. Ethereal moonlight spilled down, not from the sky, but from dozens of floating platforms that hovered in the air like captured stars. Massive pillars of black stone, each 100 men wide, towered into the darkness. They were etched with the names of past champions, runes that pulsed with a faint golden light. Amidst it all, Lin Wei stood firm. His feet were planted as if he were an extension of the mountain itself. His iron body hummed, a low vibration that crackled with arcs of electric blue qi dancing across his skin. Opposite him, a disciple from the famed Azure Tiger Sect stood poised. His serpentine sword seemed to flow in his hand, not like steel, but like captured river water. The roar of the crowd, tens of thousands strong, died in an instant. A sudden, crushing silence descended, heavy with held breaths. The rival's lip curled into a sneer. "You strain your body like a common mule, Lin Wei." His voice dripped with the arrogance of the inner city elite. "Qi alone conquers all. Strength is fleeting, a crude tool for the unenlightened. How quaint." Lin Wei's eyes, hard as flint, did not waver. "Strength carves the path," he said, his voice calm and even. "Qi only lights the way." He flexed his fingers one by one. The air around his hand crackled audibly, the scent of ozone sharped in the air. Without the body as a vessel, the Tao is but empty air, a ghost's promise. Bang! The sound was not of flesh hitting steel. It was the sound of a thunderclap, sharp and absolute. Lin Wei's fist, glowing with condensed qi, had met the serpentine sword mid-strike. A shockwave, visible as a ripple in the air, burst forth. It echoed off the distant mountains like the roar of a celestial beast. The sword, a famed artifact of the Azure Tiger Sect, was flung backwards. It tore from its master's grasp, spinning violently through the air. The disciple was forced into a desperate retreat. A wave of gasps rippled through the tens of thousands in the crowd. Disbelief was a palpable force. How? The Azure disciple's face twisted, his elegant composure shattering into disbelief. He had put the full force of his qi into that strike. Lin Wei did not answer. His iron-hardened foot stomped down. Crack! The stone platform beneath him didn't just crack, it shattered. Spiderwebs of fractures spread outwards as a cloud of dust and pulverized rock exploded into the air. He moved. It was not a run, but an instantaneous blur, a lightning strike given human form. The Azure disciple recovered his blade, his face grim. He unleashed a flurry of attacks, blade after blade slicing through the dust. Each strike was so fast it left a shimmering afterimage, a web of deadly light meant to trap and dissect. Lin Wei met the storm head-on. Boom! His fist connected with the flat of the blade. The resonance of qi and raw power flared, a blinding flash that shook stone and wind alike. The floating platforms around the arena trembled violently. Spectators in the lower tiers grabbed for support as the very air vibrated. It was a lightning storm of muscle and reflex, a clash of two opposing philosophies, brute strength and flowing grace combined in a dance of deadly harmony. In a quiet chamber deep beneath the arena, the spirit mirror system activated. Dozens of celestial mirrors, artifacts from a forgotten epoch, began to glow with a cool spectral light.
They hummed with an ancient power. Lin Wei's consciousness was split. One part fought on the stage above, the other was here, studying the projections of the battle in perfect clarity. "The vessel has limits," he muttered to his other self, his voice a disembodied whisper in the chamber. "But limits are merely bars, and bars can be broken." Flowing projections of light and energy mapped his opponent's every move. A weakness appeared, a subtle faltering on the left flank. Opponent's chi circulation efficiency drop at 13% following impact resonance. The system's voice stated, calm and algorithmic, directly in his mind. A faint, cold smile curled on Lin Wei's lips in the real world. Master of the blade, but blind to the body's tremors. His own muscle screamed in protest. He could feel the microscopic tearing of fibers, the strain threatening to fracture bone. Pain bit into him, sharp and hot like 1,000 needles. It was the price of external cultivation.
But then, his refined chi flooded his channels. It was a cool, healing balm, sealing the micro-tears almost as fast as they formed. His strategy shifted in a nanosecond. Burst, evade, strike the weakness. Precision over brute force. The brute force was merely the key. Precision was the hand that turned it. The mirrors replayed the fight's rhythm, a silent teacher revealing the secrets of the Tao in every breath, every heartbeat, every tremor of a strained muscle. Sunset bathed the inner city grounds in molten gold. Ancient pagodas, their eaves curled like sleeping dragons, cast long shadows across the courtyards. Disciples gathered in hushed groups, their eyes fixed on one figure, Lin Wei. He walked alone, his posture straight, his presence undeniable. His body bore the marks of his victory, not open wounds, but a web of tiny healing fractures woven into his hardened flesh, visible only to a cultivator's gaze. Each mark was a story, a testament to pain endured and a greater strength gained. A senior disciple, a man who had long overlooked Lin Wei, gave a slow, deliberate nod of respect. "Lin Wei stands not by arrogant chi alone," he said to those around him, his voice carrying. "He stands by unyielding flesh and an unbreakable mind." Lin Wei overheard, but his expression did not change. His voice was steady, meant for all to hear. "Strength is a chisel. Time is the sculptor." He paused. His gaze swept over the crowd. "I am simply becoming more refined." A sneer from a nearby peer, one who had mocked his methods before. Refined or just bruised? Lin Wei didn't even turn his head. A flicker of his chi, a tiny controlled burst flared from him. It was a pressure wave, silent and invisible, that slammed into the mocking disciple. The smirk on the young man's face froze, then faded into pale shock. He took an involuntary step back. The ground shook almost imperceptibly with Lin Wei's deliberate steps. Each footfall was a declaration of power. Pulses of energy whispered from his body, a quiet promise of the terrifying growth yet to come. Respect rose like a tide, unspoken but absolute. Far away, across the valley of whispering winds, hidden in the deep shadows of the Crimson Lotus sect, a lone figure watched through a scrying artifact. Flickering blue spirit flames cast an ominous, cold light on jagged obsidian gates carved in the likeness of snarling demons. Spiritual beasts, spectral shadow foxes with 9 tails and eyes of cold fire, circulated silently, their forms melting in and out of the darkness. They scented the air for intruders. The figure's cold eyes were fixed on the tiny projection of Lin Wei's form. A fist clenched. Words appeared as ghostly crimson script hovering around the clenched hand. "So the stubborn boulder grows heavier." The script swirled, reforming into new words. Soon it will crumble. It must crumble beneath the torrent the Crimson Lotus is about to unleash. A faint predatory smirk betrayed absolute confidence. The figure's form dissolved, melting into a patch of deep shadow. There was no sound, not even the displacement of air. A vanishing act of supersonic grace. The spectator was gone, as quietly as a death sentence whispered on the wind. Lin Wei's rise had not been unnoticed. It was a ripple that would soon become a wave. Pain had carved a new path for him. It was a path of balance, of wisdom gained through endured torment. The Tao demanded harmony. Strength was the vessel. Qi was the essence. Only through breaking bars, both internal and external, could true ascension ever begin. The colossal arena stood still and silent now, its great pillars absorbing the last rays of the sun, awaiting the storm that was surely yet to come.